Howdy, Dennis Bradford here. Let's think some about being, feeling, and doing better.
Is there one solution for many serious social problems? Yes. Permit me to list some of the problems that solution would cure or, minimally, ameliorate. As you go through the list, are you able to think of the solution? After stating the solution, I also state a good reason for adopting it. I take this list of problems from I by David R. Hawkins, M.D., Ph.D. It makes no pretense at being a complete list. In this time of pandemic and economic distress, you may easily be able to add to it. If you're familiar with the scale or map of consciousness, that book calibrates at over 999 on the 1,000-point scale. Do you think it might be worth reading? His identifying their solution agrees with what I've thought for over 50 years, which pleases me since he's this age and I'm not. Unsolved social problems include, quote, poverty, crowded highways, massive immigration, rising gasoline and power consumption, environmental destruction, overwhelmed government agencies, progressive elimination of the rainforests, excessive carbon dioxide production, high taxation, crowded inner cities where crime and poverty prevail, smog and air pollution, global warming, overcrowded landfills, overcrowded courts, jails, and prisons, overcrowded emergency rooms and overwhelming medical costs, overwhelming Social Security costs, a postal service overwhelmed by deficits, lack of dump sites, dwindling wildlife and natural resources, threatened extinction of species, pollution of the ocean, excessive caseloads for all areas of welfare and human services, overwhelmed child protective services, rising costs of welfare and social services, long waits for service from all agencies, long lines at supermarkets, traffic jams, escalating police costs, overcrowded schools, teacher shortages, nursing shortages, rising noise pollution levels, invasion of privacy on every level, shortages of raw materials, shortages of dump space for toxic materials, overtaxed energy sources, pollution of streams, lakes, and rivers, the AIDS epidemic, and starving nations and continents, end quote. Has the source of these important social problems occurred to you yet? If not, perhaps pause this video for a moment and think. They all stem from the same single basis, overpopulation, end quote. Does it follow that you should never have a child? Not necessarily. Not logically or directly. However, I happen to believe that you should think very seriously before doing so. Why? There's an exceptionally good reason not to contribute to human overpopulation. In general, it's an excellent idea to emulate sages, those who are wise. Like success, mastery leaves clues. Although I could be mistaken and you may know a lot more about their biographies than I do, I'm unable to think of a single widely recognized recent or contemporary sage who has had even a single child. And I'm only able to think of one who has had one child, namely Roshi Philip Kapleau. The list includes Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharishi, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, Thich Nhat Hanh, David Hawkins, Eckhart Tolle, and Roshi Bodhin Kolhib. Those of us who lack their wisdom and are still too attached to egocentricity might nevertheless benefit the world by emulating them, at least in this one respect. If you agree, or at least think it worthy, consider sharing this video. Cheers! Dennis.